it's really, really difficult to kind of hit that profile every time. But we've got, luckily, a lot of building blocks right now because we're kind of digging through some of that older whiskey. This is everywhere between about 4.5 up to 7 years old. There's a lot of different building blocks that we can put together there.
I'm your host, Jeff Zart. We're going to take you behind the scenes with the craft distillers who are pouring their heart and soul into crafting the next version of America's spirit. This is the Great American Whiskey Cookers. Every once in a while, I run across a bourbon that reminds me of a time when I was a kid. The bourbon at Old Monroe Distilling brought back that memory. Check out the video. Welcome to this edition of the Great American Whiskey Cookers. We are here in Columbia, Illinois at Old Monroe Distilling Company, and I'm not sitting, with Adam and Laura, and we're going to taste through a couple of their spirits that you guys have, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So what are we going to taste here first?
First thing we're going to taste is our small batch bourbon whiskey. That's kind of our everyday on-the-shelf sipper. And then we have a really special one. We have a single barrel rye whiskey that's finished in Amburana.
Oh, fantastic. I'm excited about this. Let's try the bourbon.
All right.
So while you're pouring this, tell me about this. What, someone's brand new in front of you, what should they be looking for? What's the profile that you're going for here?
So our small batch bourbon is very small batch. This particular batch is right at about 10 barrels, I think. So we were 10 barrels or less. And we try to make a balanced bourbon whiskey and a consistent one. So not consistent in the sense that Jim Beam White Label is always Jim Beam White Label, but consistent stylistically.
Okay.
To me, bourbon needs to be sweet. It's, corn and all that stuff, so sweet. But I want it to be balanced. I want there to be enough backbone and enough interestingness to it that it really pulls you back for a second sip, and you want to kind of dig through it and see what's going on with it. So
I can smell that sweet corn and the sweetness on the nose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's got the almost like what the hell is that flower? Dandelion sweetness.
Sure. Yeah, you get, plenty of sweetness. I get some of those oaky notes start to come in. You get the caramels, the vanillas. I feel like a lot of those common things.
I'm getting a little bit of butterscotch almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to try this. Holy buckets.
Yeah, so there's a few different layers to kind of pick through there.
And the proof on this is?
90.
90 proof.
Yep.
That's super approachable, very easy in the mouth. It's got this nice creamy viscosity to it. There's no spiky, sharp proof edges on the sides of the tongue. The finish is kind of medium for me, and it just kind of sits there, and that butterscotch is coming through for me.
Yep, absolutely. It's funny. I feel like whenever we're putting small batch together, it's really difficult. I mean, number one, you could think that hey, we've got this thing that's really sweet, we need to balance it out somehow. And you could put something spicy in it and it turns into an entirely different whiskey,
right? But
not at all what you expected. So, it's really, really difficult to kind of hit that profile every time. But we've got, luckily, a lot of building blocks right now because we're kind of digging through some of that older whiskey. This is everywhere between about 4.5 up to 7 years old. But we didn't have a standard mash bill that we made until right at about 4 years ago. So the older barrels that are in this are kind of some of our experimental barrels. But the nice thing is there's a lot of different building blocks that we can put together there.
Yeah, it seems like it has a ton of flavor, layers to it.
Yep.
All the way through. Now, Laura, do you drink this one? Do you like it?
I do. It's funny because I just more recently, like in the last few years, I used to never drink the aged spirits.
Really?
Yeah, I've really come to enjoy them now.
Got her off the peach vodka, red wine first,
Kind of migrated her.
Yeah, but she likes some of the higher proof barrel strength stuff, even more so than the 90 proof every day.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
This is really enjoyable. I really like this.
Appreciate it. And we talk about value a lot, not just value in quality and those types of things, but this is not a $50, $60 bottle. Every day on the shelf, this thing is $39.99. So yeah,
You're not gonna break the bank.
So you're competing price-wise with this whiskey. You're competing with those mid-shelfers. You're competing with the Elijah Craigs and all of those that are right in that realm.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? How do you do it for $35.99, $36.99? How do you do that?
You just don't make as much money on a case in the hopes to get someone to try your brand, because it's exactly what you said. You know, we're not competing against other craft distilleries,
right?
And that's not our view of the market. You know, there's, you know, I don't know what the number is, if it's 4 or 5% now of the total market controlled by craft distillers. I don't know what it is, but say the other 96% is controlled by what? Probably less than a dozen companies.
Yeah, by big bourbons, the six,
exactly.
Big six.
I don't want to take a craft bourbon consumer away from trying different interesting craft bourbons and those types of things. We want to go get that person that's drinking those everyday mid-shelfers to, hey, come on over to this side, just try this, you know, that type of thing. So that's why we try to do the entry-level small batch and then move up to the single barrels from there.
Yeah, I really like this. It's got that sweet note to it, that floral, like I said, that dandelion sweetness. It takes me, so here's how I got there. And while I was struggling with it, it takes me back to when I was a kid, walking from my grandmother's house in East Amana, Iowa, to Main Amana, and we would pick dandelion tops, put them in a bag, take them to the winery, and sell them to the winery because they would make dandelion wine.
That's awesome.
And our hands would smell like this. That's what I'm smelling out of this.
Absolutely. There's kind of, you know, there's a little bit of that grassy note there.
Yeah.
There's kind of a nuttiness and earthiness that comes into it as well that I feel like go really well.
This is great. I love this.
You know, it's so cool that, you know, people talk about tastings and you're talking about tasting notes and all these different things, but, you know, tying that tasting to a memory is probably the coolest thing. And that's what helps you get to those different notes and those types of things. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. So tell us, tell the camera, where do they find you? How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can find us on all the social media, obviously Facebook and Instagram, and then you can find us at drinkoldmonroe.com.
And you can find us at the Great American Whiskey Cookers, Laura, Adam. I make sure you got this
Strong.
right. The whiskey got me all sorts of confused right now. I'm telling you what. You can find us at thegreatamericanwhiskeycookers.com. Like us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram. Hit our website, go to YouTube page, like the videos, share those, step it up even a bigger notch, go to Patreon, become a member. We would really appreciate the support and the love. Until next time, can't be good, you're good at it. Go get this.